Okay, be honest. Are you one of those people that every time you see a super vibrant, super pigmented eyeshadow look on social media, you're like, she face-tuned it, he face-tuned it? Well, not everyone has to face-tune their looks to get this type of pigmentation and intensity in their eyeshadows. So if you want to learn all of my little secrets, tips, tricks, and techniques on how to get the most vibrant pigmentation out of your eyeshadows, keep on watching this video. So this is the look that I created for today's video, and this is the look that I'm going to replicate for you guys step by step. Now while doing so, I'm going to be giving you guys my tips, tricks, techniques, and just little bits of information that I have that can really help you to increase your pigmentation of your eyeshadows. Now this look is actually very, very simple. I don't know if it looks like it is or not to you guys, but it's very, very simple. It's very easy to do. And I really think you guys might be surprised at how easy it is to increase the pigmentation of your eyeshadow using just a couple little things. Now, everyone does their makeup differently, and that's fine. There are general kind of techniques, if you will, or products that really do help increase the overall quality and performance of your products. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When it comes down to an eyeshadow look, the first thing that you want to look at is the eyeshadow palette that you're using. There are definitely high quality and low quality eyeshadow palettes. There are pressed pigments, which are much more pigmented right off the bat than regular eyeshadows, but there are plenty of just regular eyeshadows that are very, very stunning and very pigmented. So if you are using an eyeshadow palette that you love that just isn't as pigmented as you would like it to be right off the bat, these tips and tricks will definitely help you to increase that pigmentation. Now, that being said, even if you're using an eyeshadow palette that is typically very pigmented, these steps will still help you to further increase that pigmentation and help prolong your eyeshadow throughout the day. So this video is perfect for everybody. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna pick out an eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna be using the Morphe 24A Artist Pass eyeshadow palette. Looks like this. I haven't used this eyeshadow palette too much, so I just thought I would dip into it today just for that reason alone. I don't have a lot of experience with these shadows specifically, so I kind of figured out how they worked while I was using them on my eye, and it turned out pretty well. If you look at it, I think it's stunning. Okay, so first, as far as application, we're gonna talk about priming our lids. Now, if you're not priming your lids, so when you're priming your lid, you're going to be doing that because it helps to, of course, increase the pigmentation of your eyeshadow, but also it helps to allow your eyeshadow to last longer throughout the day. It helps to prevent or minimize creasing that you may get on your lid, especially for people like me who have hooded eyes. And I know there's a lot of you out there that are part of the hashtag hooded eye gang, so definitely something to take into consideration. Now, some people will use a simple concealer for their eyeshadow base. That's fine. I wouldn't personally recommend it. I feel like most concealers just kind of don't perform well with eyeshadow on top of them. A lot of them are too oily with your eyelids, especially because your eyelids are kind of like oily to begin with for the most part. At least mine are. So if you absolutely have to use a concealer to prime your lid because you have nothing else, then go for it. It's better than nothing. But I would prefer that you use a proper eyeshadow base. There are all different types, and some of my favorites are the P. Louise base, which if you've been on this channel for a while, you know this is one of my absolute favorites, and the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas eyeshadow base. Now, when it comes to these bases, all of them are somewhat similar in my opinion as far as how well they work. Now there are different shades of primers. Now I have the P. Louise base, and this is much lighter than my skin tone, but typically when you have a much lighter base, when I'm using vibrant colors, which I love to do, it really, really helps to make them pop. I know there are white bases as well, and it's the same concept. I don't think white bases personally work that well, so I would do like a really light shade, but not white. Now, if you're using something like the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas, this is a lot more skin tone. There's a little, get off me, little fuzz. This is a little bit more skin tone colored for me, and I actually prefer this over the P. Louise base as far as the color. It still allows my shadows to perform very well and be very pigmented, which surprised me the first time I used it, but I just think it dries down very nicely and it just does such a great job for my eyeshadow, so I'm currently obsessed with that. So if you're following along with this tutorial, you have your eyeshadow picked out, and now you have, hopefully, a base to use. So let's get started with applying the eyeshadow. Okay, so before we obviously actually apply the shadow, we're going to apply our base. I just take it on a little tiny sponge and just stamp it over your eye. Now, some people will set their base in place with an eyeshadow or a translucent powder just to mattify it and dry it down. I don't really care either way. I've tried both setting my lid and not setting my lid, and truly have not found a difference as far as the pigmentation or the longevity of the shadow. So really, I feel like it comes down to personal preference. And if I'm using a shimmer right off the bat or pressed glitters or something like that, then typically I'll keep it really, really wet. The Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow primer is a lot thinner of a consistency and it's a lot more wet. So that is the type of base that I would typically set with an eyeshadow. You could use something that pretty much matches the color of the base or of your skin and set it in place. You could use a white, you could use a tan, something like that. But this is not super wet, so I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. I like the tackiness a little bit. I do feel like it grabs onto my shadows a little bit better than when it's dry, but again, it's kind of personal preference, so just kind of play around with it a little bit. Alright, so to get started with the eyeshadow, I'm going to be going in with my Morphe M506 brush. Now this is a small dome-shaped eyeshadow brush, and I love this for when I'm starting off in my crease because it really helps to control the pigment. The more dense a brush is, the more product it's going to hold, and the less dense it is or fluffier it is, the less product it's going to hold. So typically a brush like this we would use for blending out our shadows or just doing a wash of color. And a brush like this is when we really want to pack in the product and get a lot of pigmentation. So what some people do is when they're starting their crease, it's all over the place and you get a lot of product right here, a lot of pigmentation, and you just lose it as you're going over. And it's just kind of messy and muddy and you really don't get a lot of payoff. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to stamp on our eyeshadow in place and then blend out the edges. I'll show you how. So we're going to start off with the purple, which is called Major Inspo right here. Okay, we're going to take it into our crease and just start stamping it on. Now, this is going to give us the most payoff right off the bat because you're stamping the product into place and it's really building it up right off the bat. And it also, in my opinion, when you're using this specific brush, it starts to blend out the edge for you because the dome shape is still kind of fluffy. Now, I've seen some people use brushes like this to start off in their crease, and it's still the same concept as far as packing it in. But this, I feel like, is better because it still kind of blends the edges out when you're stamping it. So it's kind of starting the blending for you. So you just go around your eyelid and stamp it into place. Okay, so you see how we have the intense purple right in the crease and then above it almost looks pink? That's because it's already starting to do the blending for us, and that saves us a lot of time. So once you have it stamped into place like you want, just take a little bit more product, tap it off, and now lay it kind of flat and then blend out the edge. Alrighty, once you're happy with the purple, which I am, you're going to take that same brush and I'm just going to wipe it off on a paper towel to get the excess pigment off. And then next we're going to dip into a blue, which is called Ride or Sky right here. Now you're going to take that with the exact same brush, and what I'm going to do is on the inner corner, like to about right there, I'm going to start lightly packing on the blue. And it's going to, again, do some of the blending for us into the purple, but also still apply a deeper blue and kind of give it a nice little gradient effect right here at the inner corner. So once you have that blue place, you see how it's kind of a gradient already? Just kind of go with it and kind of flick it through the purple just to blend it a little bit further. Now again, we're going to brush that brush off. You can do like half this look with just this one brush. And now we're going to dip into Max Volume, which is this hot pink right here. So again, same brush, dip into it, tap off any excess if you need. And on the outer corner, we're going to start doing the same thing. We're going to kind of stamp it on and just follow along the edge. And again, you're combining the pink and the purple. It's blending it together already for us because this brush is amazing. And we're also getting that gradient effect. We're getting the pigmentation right off the bat. You have to do so little work when you're using this technique. It's absolutely amazing. So definitely, if you can, try out the M506 brush. I use this in every single eyeshadow look, no matter what. Okay, once you're happy with that, which I am, I'm going to again take that same brush, wipe it off, dip back into Major Inspo, which is that purple, and we're going to go in here one last time and just blend it together again. I just love making sure everything is seamless, so just stamp it, and then just give it a little circular motion right here, just to blend everything together. Now once you have that, we're going to take a fluffy brush like this. There's just a little bit of product left from over here, but nothing like for real. Now just take this and lightly just brush over everything. Since these colors are really complementary, this is a great technique. It just helps to soften the entire look, blend it all together, and give you perfection. So we have the initial blend how we want it. So I'm going to quickly, off camera, cut my crease, and I'll be right back in 1, 2. Yeah, we like a little magic on the Cody J YouTube channel. So now that we have our crease cut, it's still very tacky, which is what we want. So now we're going to take a brush like this. It's just a flat packing brush. I'm going to use both sides of this actually for different things. So I'm just going to make sure I brush it off just because. Now for one side, I'm going to be dipping into a little bit of India Who, which is, or India Woe, not India Who, India Woe right there. Which is a beautiful kind of coral. And I'm going to take this and I'm just going to stamp this all over our lid. Now this brush is great for this because stamping your product on is the same thing as what we were doing earlier with our initial blend. It's really going to pack the product in or on. Now, again, like I said earlier, when it comes to brushes, this is a very dense brush. So the more dense the brush, the more product you're gonna have. So you'd wanna use this over something like this. You could use this brush, but it would take a little bit more work and it won't be as pigmented. And this whole video is about increasing pigmentation of our eyeshadow. Is that the most stunning color combination you've ever seen? Like, it's literally gonna go from this to this in about 3 seconds, and I'm gonna show you how. So with the same brush, kind of wipe off the excess pigment again, and now we're gonna dip into Wild Out, which is this orange pressed glitter right here. Now if you're like,
Cody Jay, you hate pressed glitter. You always say you hate pressed glitter, you're never gonna wear it.
well, guess what? I lied, and now I love it. So we're gonna take that same brush, kind of press into it, and just start applying this all over the lid. The exact same brush, just kind of stamp it in, move it around. Okay, is that not insane? Is that not insane? Look how beautiful. Look at it, look at it. Lashes make such a difference, but like, look at that. You wanna talk about pigmentation. All of this is incredible pigmentation, and you're gonna replicate this, or you're gonna create something along the lines of this using these techniques, and you're gonna be so happy and you're gonna love it, and you're gonna make sure you're subscribed to my channel because I gave you some awesome tips that you can use very, very easily to just improve your eyeshadow overall, and you're gonna thank me and you're gonna love it and you're never gonna look back. Okay, so real quick with that first brush that we used yet again, we're gonna dip into a Major Inspo, which is that purple that we first used, wrong eye, and we're gonna go over here and we're just gonna kind of give it a little bit of a blend and a shape. I just like to personally do this with my cut creases. I just feel like it blends together nicely, and it's just a nice little gradient. Because when we're stamping this purple and the orange, it kind of changes the color a little bit, and it just gives it a really nice flow. It just makes it look more complete and feel more complete. So just kind of take it in like a weird V shape, and then kind of flick it over. Gosh, I'm obsessed. Obsessed. Okay, so really quickly for our under eye, we're gonna take our Makeup Shack T14 brush. We're gonna dip into Major Inspo again, which is the purple, and we're just gonna connect it to our lower lash line. And just take it all the way across. Across or across, I don't know. Now I'm gonna take a rather clean M506 brush like we started off with and dip into India Whoa, which is the kind of coral color that we used on the lid to start. And just kind of blend this out a little bit. Make sure it's connected. Gosh, is that not stunning? Is that not stunning? It is, and you know it. Okay, real quick off camera, I'm gonna throw on my lashes, liner, and mascara, and I will be right back. Okay guys, I'm back, and this is the look all complete. I think it is so stunning. So for my lashes, I threw on my J Sky Beauty lashes in the style Crystal. I have my OMFG Cosmetics mascara, and of course, as usual, I have my ColourPop Cream Gel Liner. This is in the shade Insomniac. I popped a little inner corner highlight on, and for the lips, I'm using a combination of liquid lipsticks from Bella & Co. This is in the shade Fairy Dust, and this one is Wine Fine. I put a little bit of Fairy Dust first, and then Wine Fine on top, and went, and it's beautiful. So again, look all complete. So I hope during this video you picked up some tips, tricks, and some of my techniques on how to maximize and increase your eyeshadow pigmentation. If you are doing some of the things that I said maybe not to do, maybe try not doing them and try it my way or a lot of other people's way. This is just, it's kind of common now, I guess. But try this out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what you do right now for your eyeshadow routine or technique. Let me know what parts of this video you want to start incorporating into your look. I think you'll really, really be happy, and you'll see some noticeable differences in the pigmentation of your eyeshadow and of course the blendability. It just kind of all goes together. So I would really like to know your thoughts. So this is the final look, again, all complete. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned a couple things while watching, but that is all I have for you guys today. If you'd like to keep up with all things Cody J, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok, all at Cody J Artistry. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up down below. Click that big red subscribe button so you can join my YouTube family. I'm almost at 5,000. And of course, turn on my post notifications by clicking that bell icon and switching it to all. And I thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one.